Since the federal government doesn't want to take action on virtually any issue, the states have decided they'll do it themselves. We're going to look at Indiana Attorney General. His name is Todd Rokita, filed a pretty interesting lawsuit against TikTok. You can see it's right here. TikTok, ByteDance, both named in a complaint. This is taking place in state court, and it compares and contrasts how the TikTok app is working in the United States and the damage that it's doing to many people who use it versus how the app functions in China. It's very, very nice breakdown, and we'll take a look at the comparisons. So Indiana wants TikTok gone and punished and penalized, in fact, calling it malicious for what it does to people who use it. We'll also turn our attention to South Dakota. Kristi NOEM, she has banned TikTok. She issued an executive order. You can see that one came out just a couple short weeks ago, banning TikTok on state devices there. And she's also introducing new legislation to restrict not just the app, but also the purchase of farmland in South Dakota, saying we can't give up our food supply to other people in other countries that don't have American interests at heart. And then lastly, we'll turn our attention over to the great state of Texas and see what they're intending to do with their statewide ban on TikTok. And so we'll start at the top with the announcement from the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, not Rokita. Shout out to Nick. You can see he posted this over on the official website for Indiana, coming out of the office of the Indiana Attorney General. He announced last week, two separate lawsuits against TikTok, both related to false claims made by the company about its video sharing app of the same name. He says that the TikTok app is a malicious and menacing threat unleashed on unsuspecting Indiana consumers by a Chinese company that knows full well the harms it inflicts on users. With this pair of lawsuits, we hope to force TikTok to stop its false and deceptive misleading practices. He says the first lawsuit, which we're going to take a look at, is that TikTok, he claims that it has lured children onto the platform through a variety of misleading representations, indicating that the app only contains, quote, infrequent and mild sexual content, profanity, and drug references, when in reality, that's not true at all if you've ever used it. The app is rife with extreme examples of those materials. An essential part of TikTok's business model is presenting the application as safe and appropriate for kids, ages 13 to 17. A lot of people dancing on there, a lot of fun stuff going on. The second lawsuit says that China gobbles up highly sensitive data, and in multiple ways, TikTok presents a clear and present danger. The company owes consumers the truth about the age appropriateness of the content. We hope these lawsuits force TikTok to come clean. So he's seeking an emergency injunctive relief, right? This is a suit to protect the kids, along with a bunch of other stuff. And you can see if you go here, there's exhibits and affidavits and cover motions and so on. But what we're going to do is take a look at the actual lawsuit that was filed, because it is actually quite good and it's pretty interesting. Indiana sues TikTok and ByteDance, two companies highly connected with the CCP in China. Filed in Allen County, Indiana, December 7th, 2022. This is in state court, right? So this is in the Superior Court of Allen County. It's not a federal district court. So it's Indiana local. The complaint from the Attorney General, and the Attorneys General across states, they're meant to protect consumers, right? They're meant to make sure that the citizens are essentially protected. And if the federal government won't step in, this is pretty common. The Attorneys General will do so. He complains. Indiana Attorney General says the following. TikTok says its platform is all about spreading joy. But the more TikTok videos consumers view and the more content they create and share, the more TikTok learns about them, their interests, their locations, the type of phones they have, the apps on the phones, who their contacts are, their facial features, their voice prints, and even, quote, where your eyes are looking on your phone, eye tracking. While TikTok vacuums up reams of highly sensitive and personal information about Indiana consumers and you, the rest of America, it also deceives and misleads them about the risks that the app routinely poses to their data. TikTok and its algorithm are owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company subject to Chinese law, including laws that mandate secret cooperation with Chinese intelligence. The Chinese government and CCP, the Communist Party, they've demonstrated interest in the kind of data that TikTok collects, which they can use to spy on, blackmail, coerce those users, or further develop China's artificial intelligence capabilities, or for any number of other purposes that serve China's security and economic interests. And you can imagine that, right? Even if you say, okay, well, who cares if it's a 16-year-old girl and they get all of her application? I mean, I think personally, I'd say like everybody does, right? How do you not care about that? But if there are those people that just say, well, there's going to be whatever. It's on Facebook and Instagram. It's on Google. It's on YouTube. Privacy's dead anyways, right? I think there's a lot of people that just say, what can we do about it, right? Nothing, and they just ignore it. Well, think about what they might gobble up on a person, right? On a young person that they can just hang on to indefinitely, right? Anything. And just hang on to it for the next 10 years, 20 years. Then somebody runs for Senate, right? And they say, remember when you were 16? Remember when you were 18? We have all this weird stuff on you. And we can just use it if we decided to, because there's nobody to stop us. And this carries on. China applies its laws as the CCP sees fit, whenever and wherever it sees fit. There is no meaningful recourse for any individual or any company to refuse its demands. Indiana says that China's data and cybersecurity regimes are not about privacy. They're about control. And thanks to a wave of recent national security, cybersecurity, and data security laws and regulations in China, quote, there will be no secrets, no VPNs, no private or encrypted messages, no anonymous accounts, no trade secrets, no confidential data at all. In China, any and all data will be available and open to the Chinese government. Footnote 3, this comes from the China Law blog, written back October 11, 2020. TikTok tells the state, all the consumers, that their data is protected. They say, we have comprehensive company protocols and practices. We have rigid access controls. I mean, we have US-based security teams here. TikTok says, we've never given Chinese government any access to that data, and we never would, we promise. They say that none of its data is subject to Chinese law, and that the Chinese law has nothing to do with us. But TikTok bends over backwards to downplay that its parent company, ByteDance, has a Chinese association. Unlike every other major social media company, TikTok even fails to alert consumers when accounts affiliated with the Chinese government and CCP are pushing controversial and divisive content. Their statements and omissions paint a picture for consumers that there's a minimal risk of the CCP or the Communist Party, right? So they're saying, oh no, China's great. And I can speak to this, in fact. We were posting content on China. We got banned like immediately. We were shadow banned immediately. They didn't share any of our stuff because we talk very critically about China, and all of our shorts were going on there, and that we got nuked immediately, right? The censors were like, you're done. And probably for good reason, because I would have put this video right on there, right? What we talked about here, we'll make shorts of this video. I would have put them on TikTok, blasting the CCP, and they don't like that. So if that goes away, they're necessarily influencing the conversation, right? And they're doing it for propaganda, literal propaganda purposes. They control all the data, providing false, deceptive, and misleading statements. The highly sensitive data that TikTok collects from Indiana consumers is also accessible by individuals and entities subject to Chinese law. TikTok and their privacy policy states that it may share the data it collects, and TikTok misleads Indiana consumers in other ways. It claims it's independent, but it's not, and nobody is willing to investigate it thus far. They say that TikTok is a wolf in sheep's clothing. As long as TikTok is permitted to deceive and mislead consumers, their privacy is at risk. Now we see jurisdiction is here. The state of Indiana demands a jury trial. They want civil penalties against TikTok for their problematic content. And we know the parties involved are located here. Okay, TikTok, for-profit company. State of Washington is where it's incorporated. TikTok made $4 billion in revenue 2021. ByteDance is another company that's based out of Beijing. They made $58 billion in revenue. A $400 billion company. Major company. All right, so this is where the lawsuit gets a little bit more interesting. What TikTok is. Factual allegations from the state. They say TikTok, social media platform, centers on short videos, created, uploaded, often set to music, downloaded on millions of smartphones. You get it from the app stores. TikTok users register and create a profile, and they automatically collect their IP address, their geolocation data, unique device identifiers, cookies, everything. TikTok, though, also collects some other things about the users, including their user agent, their mobile carrier, time zone settings, identifiers, advertising numbers, keystroke patterns, screen resolution, battery state, audio settings, and connected devices. They also take a user's biometric information, including face prints and voice prints. Oh, that's fun. Tracks them across multiple devices and the internet. When they log in from multiple devices, they'll be able to use their profile and track them everywhere they go. They even tell you they do it in their TOS. If consumers consent, if they say, sure, you can access that, you press that button real fast because you don't care. It also collects their phone's contacts, precise GPS location, information from other social media accounts, and login services if users link them for TikTok. A report from a privacy researcher found that TikTok also collects copious amounts of information. He says that TikTok injects JavaScript into third-party websites that allows them to record every keystroke that you enter. The code thus allows TikTok to capture additional personal information about consumers, including but not limited to passwords and credit card information. So it's just gobbling up everything. TikTok has been caught on more than one occasion evading statutes. In 2019, they were known as Musical.ly. They settled an FTC issue. They also mislead consumers about the risk of the CCP. Falsely denying that it collects user data, TikTok downplays the influence and control over ByteDance. And the privacy policy allows them to transmit the data. They're omitting references and they're just not communicating to consumers. Now, there was more. I'm trying to find this section that I was reading earlier. This may be, hold on, let me see. I want to double check the announcement because there was one section of a lawsuit that I saw. He filed a bunch of stuff. So as you can see, we've got a couple different lawsuits here. And if this is the same one, okay, this is the one that I want to go to. Let's go over here. That's a different one on Chinese data. We're all aware of the Chinese data stuff. This one is also good. This one talks about the youth of America. All right, so all of that was good, but this is better. So they say that TikTok here is a Trojan horse, unleashing on unsuspecting American consumers. This is about the kids. Okay. Tens of millions of minors use TikTok. In order to lure these children onto its platforms, TikTok makes a variety of misleading representations and omissions. They claim that it's a 12 plus rating on the App Store, and they call it T for teen in the Google Play Store and on Microsoft. But once on the platform, many children are exposed to nonstop offerings of inappropriate content that the algorithm force feeds to them. This harms young children and society, calling these effects devastating. TikTok is a for-profit company, operates TikTok, digital application owned by ByteDance. The application is the most used application among young people in the US ages 13 to 17. It outpaces Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Teens in the United States spend on average 99 minutes per day on TikTok. A lot of time. The TikTok algorithm promotes a variety of inappropriate content to people who are 13 to 17 years of age. The algorithm serves up abundant content of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, sexual content, nudity, suggestive themes, and intense profanity. They promote this content regardless of a user's age, which means it's available to people with ages as young as 13. Now, content that's available and promoted to minors on TikTok does influence their behavior. They're young people. Southwest Allen County Superintendent sent a letter home to parents in September, informing them of increased incidences of vandalism in county schools, attributable specifically to the social media craze of TikTok videos called #DeviousLicks. Those videos, he said, showed students across the country stealing school furnishings and committing acts of vandalism like emptying soap dispensers on the floor, smearing soap on the walls, breaking mirrors and clogging toilets. He said, obviously, our kids are influenced by social media. And as we talked about at the start of the show, right, it's kind of what everybody wants to be now. All the kids want to be an influencer. And so how do you do that? You do a bunch of outrageous stuff. You get a bunch of clicks. You do a bunch of things for attention, unless you've got, something else to share. But, a lot of kids are, they're kids, so they don't have a lot of stuff to share. So they do stuff like hashtag devious licks. We were all kids once. We all did stupid stuff. It just wasn't hashtagable back then. As a result of TikTok's predatory design, the platform brought in more than $4 billion. Now, at the same time, right, this is where we see the difference between the Chinese app and the American app. At the same time that the youth are being wrecked, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, operates a parallel application in China called Douyin, which contains many more safeguards for its 13-year-old kids. In China, young users under the age of 14 are required to use the youth mode, and they're subject to name authentication. Those users are limited to 40 minutes of daily use between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. China won't even let you use the app. Douyin also does not contain or promote any kind of salacious content that TikTok does and that they make available to 13-year-olds in the United States. Rather, in China, it serves up educational and light entertainment content. Users under 18 are also barred from viewing live broadcast on the app. In short, TikTok, writes Indiana, poses a known risk to young teens. And TikTok's parent company itself finds it inappropriate for their own users who are of the same age. But TikTok and ByteDance are content to push salacious and inappropriate content to all U.S. users 13 and up for unlimited periods of time, day and night, in an effort to line TikTok's pockets with billions from U.S. consumers. They don't care about the kids. They want them on there as long as possible, right? If you limit them to 40 minutes of daily use, you can't serve them that many ads. If you can get them up to 99 minutes of daily use, which was the average that we saw in the prior lawsuit, and probably way more than that for a lot of people, that's a lot of ads. Make a lot of money that way. Who cares what it does to the kids and the youth and the schools? Nobody cares. Politicians are maybe catching wind. We'll see. An essential part of the business model that TikTok uses is to say that it's safe and appropriate for young users. Yeah, you can put your teen on there. They all want to be on there, 13 and 17, because that group is a key demo for the company and the future growth. In service of that goal, TikTok has misled and deceived Indiana consumers from the inception. They say in particular, TikTok has told Indiana consumers and you, America, that alcohol, drug, tobacco references, that sexual content or nudity, that mature, suggestive themes, crude humor, profanity, infrequent, mild on the platform are infrequent and mild, when in fact, no, that's not true at all. He says they're frequent and intense, so they're directly lying. Each of these representations is misleading and deceptive. Their cumulative effect is also misleading and deceptive, and anyone can visit the TikTok page right now and see them listed as part of the age rating description. Not only have these misrepresentations misled and deceived consumers, but they've also allowed TikTok to self-select a 12-plus age rating in Apple's store. Falsely indicates that it's safe for users 12 and older. In fact, it's not. The only appropriate rating, says Indiana, is 17 plus. TikTok's choice to adopt a lower rating is misleading and deceptive. He's basically saying that none of the things match, right? They're saying that this exists on the platform and it doesn't. If you search for certain things on TikTok, they actually will suggest them for you. Think about this. They're shoving it in your face, whether you want it or not. In fact, sexual content, nudity, and mature suggestive themes are abundant on TikTok. They're not infrequent nor mild. TikTok not only allows users to search for thousands of suggestive hashtags, but it even recommends them to users in its autocomplete feature. That means that users who merely type STRI, like, I don't know, stripes or like strike or anything, what are they going to see? They're going to see in the TikTok search bar, they're going to be offered terms like stripper TikTok. I don't even know what that is. Scripper TikTok. Don't even know what that is. And it doesn't even match, right? STRI responds to SKRI, Scripper TikTok, which returns thousands of videos about strippers. So, some of which have been viewed millions of times, pole dancing, and underwear, thong underwear. Oh my gosh. That's out of control. Similarly, typing SPI into the TikTok search bar results in users being offered spicy talk, a search that returns thousands of videos. And KI offers, so you know what these, I don't even, all right. So returns thousands of videos about other things that are, if you're into it, okay. Not if you're 13, okay? Not if you're underage. Now, I'm not familiar with all of these things, so, the different terms. Kinty talk? Well, I don't even know what that is. All right. So typing only the letter B into the search bar offers baddies only, a search term that thousands of videos of women twerking. Oh gosh, the twerkers. And men doing body shots off bikini-clad women. What kind of application is this? I thought this was dancing videos. That's weird. Many of which have millions of views. So if you're a kid and you're typing like, if you type KI because you're like kids shows, you want to type in KI like kids cartoons, and they serve you up whatever this word is. Kin TikTok. Oh, I see what it is. Kin TikTok. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's TikTok. Oh, okay. Kin TikTok. I don't even know what that is. And it brings up all sorts of kinky stuff, man, for the kids, for the youth of America. So so they're shoving it in your face is the point, right? You don't even have to be looking for it. If you're a kid, you type in kids cartoon, you're getting kink stuff. Okay. Now, paragraph 18, Indiana says, in light of this abundant and serious content about mature content, TikTok misleads and deceives Indiana customers by choosing infrequent. And so a bunch of young people get on there, they type in kids cartoons, they get kink hashtags. Great. TikTok knows that if it were to choose that frequent to describe the type of content, it would get a much higher rating, 17 plus, and they definitely don't want that. Profanity is frequent. They say if they were to self-report, they would have been given mature ratings in all of the app stores. And so all of that is deceptive. And therefore, they're entitled to relief, right? Just like if your gym is ripping you off or any other company is ripping you off, right? The attorneys general will go and they'll file claims. So the rest of that, right, you can sort of understand that they're going to assemble that all together. There's a For You feed. It tracks your information. Okay, it knows if you watch a video, it says, well, if you're watching a video about this, you probably like this stuff. And so it sort of matches what you're watching to what it thinks you like. And of course, they give you they give you a bunch of stuff. And if they serve up a kid, something like a 13-year-old kid, something that's a 17 plus piece of content, and there's no differentiations between them. Not good. Now, what's this? We've got redactions in this? We do. A paragraph is redacted. 55 is redacted. Why are we seeing a redaction here? Interesting. So it says 56 blank upon information and belief, version 24.1 of the TikTok app was made available. So these must be like trade secrets or... Interesting. So in other words, in that software, they would have, in that version, they're explaining it. Because TikTok selected blank in response to that, TikTok App Store offers all app. So interesting. All right. So you see the rest of this right now. There's a lot here. There are other additional filings here. It looks like we've got an affidavit of somebody named M. Wold. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Says, my name is M. Wold. I'm an attorney. I screen recorded a series of videos of a TikTok app being a user profile of a 13-year-old. All right, so this is somebody saying this is what I observed and saw. It's an affidavit. I registered as a 13-year-old user. I screen recorded these videos on a burner phone, no prior web history or other stored information. Exhibits or copies. He says Exhibit 6 is a video showing if I type SHR into the search bar, it offers the autocomplete of shrooms, which returns videos of users tripping on shrooms. I recorded that video with restricted mode on. If I type another one, SHR, offers Shroomies Trip. If I type Exhibit 8 is showing Shroom Talk, if I type ALK, it returns ALK for teens. Right. And so it's just spamming you with a bunch of stuff. So this person recorded a bunch of stuff, and you've got thongs, pole dancing videos. It's just out of control. 1.5 million views for strip talk and TikTok pole dancing. It's just totally bedlam over there. Out of control. So you can see why so many kids are on there, as a matter of fact. It's like, dang, it's a good thing they didn't have this when I was a kid. Exhibit 75 is a video set to the song F Off, 3.5 million views. Yeah. I'm actually kind of interested in the app now, to be honest, after all of this. Maybe I'll have to download it again and get back on it. Sounds like it's a wild time, out of control here. Look at all these words. The family show. This is crazy. All right. So, yeah, for research. It's part of the show now. Gosh, I don't know. We not humping in a video. I don't know what that one is. Here's another one. We not humping. 15.2 million views of we not humping. All right. Not sure what that one's about. I'm not going to go look either. This is one of those things. Curiosity killed the cat. Don't go looking at all. All right. So that's the lawsuit right now. That all, of course, is coming from the state of Indiana, going against ByteDance and TikTok. So all of this is here. If you want to read through the rest of it, affidavits, memos, a lot of stuff. And I think it's good news that people are doing the due diligence on this. What I like about it is that it's very clear, right? It's very articulated. You can see, okay, well, it's not just this amorphous thing like TikTok is bad. They're saying, no, we type searches for KI, we get kink stuff. Like what? Right? They're shoving it in your face, whether you want it or not, whether your kid wants it or not. And there's no differentiators between the age groups, right? And it's very clear. It says it's rated improperly. It should be adjusted in rating. That's the state of Indiana. Why the federal government is not doing anything like this, I have no idea. Well, I do. It's because it's Joe Biden, and he's the person who is in charge at the moment. So we've got that. Indiana, of course, is doing a great job. We're also going to check in with Kristi NOEM because she banned TikTok, and she also banned some farms. But before we jump over to another state, of course, we've got Texas coming up as well. I wanted to share with you just a quick video from our law firm, somebody that we helped quite some time ago, actually. And if you know anybody in the state of Arizona who needs some help, of course, our phone number is right here. Our website is right there, and we'd love to be able to help. This is a friend. This is an old client that we had.
Law firm, it's more on a personal level. It's not so much business. And what sets this firm apart is these guys, they actually care about their clients. I saw that the first time that I actually spoke with both of them. It's that level of comfort that I walked into, and I didn't feel intimidated. I was comfortable. Not only did they take the anxiety away, but they took the intimidation out of it. Anytime you're going through this process, it is very intimidating. And
it is.
They brought the intimidation level down. Sometimes 5, 6 o'clock at night, as the case was progressing, I had questions, and they were there to answer them. Anytime, any question, it didn't matter. My experience was great. They reassured me all along. They never told me anything that wasn't true. They always kept me up to date on everything. And at the end of my case, I was completely satisfied. I was actually relieved with the results. These guys were great. Ryan and Robert are the reason that I'm here to raise my daughter. That's it. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I'm very grateful.
All right, my friend. So yes, if you do need help in the state of Arizona, that's what our law firm does. And our phone number is right there, 480-787-0394. We have an amazing team. We'd love to help. All right, so let's get right back to it. Of course, we just wrapped up with the Indiana Attorney General, who is suing TikTok, I think well overdue. But let's turn our attention to another state, South Dakota. Kristi NOEM has also taken some serious action on this and has banned TikTok. You can see that she put together an executive order, and it is pretty brief. She dropped this Executive Order 2022-10. Says, while maintaining the cybersecurity of South Dakota is necessary and essential, the social media company and platform called TikTok has 135 million users in the United States. They may gain control over crucial data. They say FBI Director Christopher Wray, who we heard from previously, has warned about the device practices. Says the CCP may attain personal information because ByteDance is headquartered in Beijing. They're concerned about the data flow. ByteDance previously refused to stop the data flow from the United States into China. Military, TSA, others, DHS have banned the use of TikTok. And they say that permitting the use of TikTok would be contrary to the interests of the state of South Dakota. So therefore, says Governor Kristi, I, by the authority vested in me, do hereby order and direct that no employee or agency of the state of South Dakota shall download or use the TikTok app or visit the TikTok website. Ooh, that's interesting. Of government-issued devices. So don't even go to the web app. Don't even go to TikTok.com. Okay? Don't even go look at stuff there. Totally banned, including state-issued cell phones, no laptop devices, or any device capable of internet connectivity. Now, no person who contracts also with the state of South Dakota, also including but not limited to any state agency, also shall not be able to allow or use it at all. Wow. So a pretty serious ban from the governor out of South Dakota. And she was on with somebody talking about that. Did I link that somewhere? I think I did. I think I linked NOEM, but I didn't put it in the mind map. Let me see if I downloaded this. I did. Here it comes.
The governor of South Dakota, Kristi NOEM, joins us now. Governor, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be with you and talk about this today. It's so important that we take action like this as states to protect our people. I did sign an executive order on banning TikTok off of state devices and our servers. It is now inaccessible to our employees, but also it will be a criminal offense if they do access this, because we know how the Chinese Communist government is using this to gain data and information on American citizens.
The warnings have been out there about Chinese big tech for a while. It started with Huawei and ZTE, these other companies, and now we know more about TikTok. And tell us about your latest move here to have the South Dakota Investment Council review any of the state's investments in Chinese-owned companies. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we've also taken action in this area, too, recognizing that our South Dakota Investment Council, which invests funds to help the retirements and pensions of state employees, could be investing in communist companies, also Chinese companies, and that would not be something that would further the interests of protecting the United States of America. So I asked the South Dakota Investment Council to within 7 days, give me an evaluation, give me an assessment of how our funds are being invested, and if they are being invested in funds that support the Chinese government or their companies that are established in China, that we change our course of action, that we no longer do that. In fact, already our investment council has divested out of 2 Chinese companies, and I do expect to receive that report within a couple of days so that we can take action to ensure that we're not supporting this country that has been our enemy. Listen, we all know that China wants to destroy the United States of America. They hate us, they are our enemy, and we should not be investing in any kind of a company that supports their communist policies.
Obviously true, but she is now joined by others who are of the same mindset. It has taken quite some time. Now, there was another link. Kristi NOEM announces a plan to restrict foreign purchases of AG land. And that was another link that the governor shared with us, but we'll see if that legislation actually passes. Okay, so she promised this, or she says proposed it, but it hasn't actually passed yet. But she's essentially saying no CCP farms, and that land is protected. We'll see what they do in South Dakota. But also in the great state of Texas, we've got Governor Abbott. He says that they're also banning TikTok on their government devices.
All employees of the state of Texas and all state agencies, and then also I'm calling for legislation. We have a legislative session beginning next month, and I'm calling for legislation for a more comprehensive approach by the entire state of Texas in addressing the threats posed by TikTok.
So that, I don't know what that means. More comprehensive means harder removal or what? But the point is, a lot of states are taking action on it. We saw that there's a big lawsuit from Indiana, and that is all, I think, good news. We'll see what the courts do with it. We'll see what Congress does with it. and we'll certainly follow TikTok and the saga as that continues. Thank you for joining us as we do, for hitting that like button and subscribing wherever it is you're following. And we'll see you on the next one.